There's one major thing in this amazing movie that drove me absolutely crazy. And maybe it's my fault, maybe it's me, but we'll find out together. So grab your broomsticks and let's review Wicked. So if you don't know, Wicked is based off the Broadway musical, based off the book by Gregory Maguire. So Wicked is a story of Elphaba, born with green skin.
You're green. I am.
Who faces prejudice and isolation from an early age. She's highly intelligent and passionate about social justice, but then becomes disillusioned with the corruption in Oz's political and social systems. She is drawn into a struggle against the oppressive regime of the Wizard of Oz, who is revealed to be a manipulative type ruler. As Elphaba grows more radical in her beliefs, she finds herself at odds with her own friends, including Glinda the Good Witch, and is ultimately cast as a villain in the eyes of the public. Wicked delves into themes of good versus evil, identity, prejudice, racism, being odd or different, and the consequences of power in politics. It presents a more nuanced view of what it means to be good or evil, suggesting that the lines between the two are often sort of blurred. The musical is a darker, more complex reimagining of the beloved classic Wizard of Oz story, which is kind of the prequel. It opens up with the death of the Wicked Witch and a song celebrating that death. And then someone asks Glinda, "You knew her, right?" And she said, "Briefly, at school, we met." And then she goes into the backstory or the prequel. Now, if you know me, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of musicals. And yes, I did see Wicked on stage, and I do remember loving it, but it was so long ago that I had pretty much forgotten the whole story pretty much. I always thought the music was great, but I'm more of a Hamilton music type of fan. But I was kind of going into this movie with fresh eyes, and I have to tell you, it was pretty great, except for one thing. And if I'm being honest, kind of put me in a bad mood going into it as soon as that frame came up. So what was it? The dreaded Part 1 title card. Now again, maybe it's my fault for not doing the research before I went in, but because I was so excited to see this movie in its entirety, it was a huge letdown at the beginning. There is a but, and I'll get to why it didn't bother me as much at the end of the movie, but first let me tell you what I loved about this film, and then what a few things that I didn't really understand. And maybe you can help me with the answers in the comments below, because I may have honestly missed a few things or missed the meaning of a few things. First off, the set design was beautiful. The musical stage sets are impressive, but this brings the land of Oz into a whole new realm. The saturated colors, the look of Emerald City was what I expected it to look like, and way much more. The practical sets were so well done, and I appreciated that not everything was on blue screen. They actually made the train to Oz that weighed multiple tons. And yes, there is a lot of CGI in this movie, and some of it doesn't look great. The choreography was stunning. The way the camera moves within the frame with the dancers and actors gives the frame so much life and fun. It makes the musical numbers so entertaining. It brings so much more emotion to the music and the meaning of the songs. The way the editing cuts between everything in the staging and blocking, it's phenomenal. Speaking of music, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are sensational and work together incredibly well. There's one scene at a dance where everyone makes fun of Elphaba for being different and of course wearing the famous black pointy hat, and she starts to dance in her own way to make everyone think that she doesn't care what anyone thinks and makes everybody think she's kind of crazy. From there, what happens next gave me the chills. It was very emotional. That and the Defying Gravity number at the end were the most memorable moments that I really thought got to me in this movie. Cynthia Erivo, who has played Harriet Tubman and has been pretty popular,
I know about popular,
no pun intended, on Broadway. She plays the part perfectly. There was some talk when they cast someone of color to play Elphaba because the original was played by Idina Menzel. My daughters know her as Elsa from Frozen. But I'm so glad that they did, because the whole premise of the story is about the color of her skin, being green, of course, and then the stupidity of seeing it is unacceptable. I love her portrayal of this very smart, misunderstood character. who deals with so many complex emotions and changes in this movie. She really, really progresses. I was kind of worried about the portrayal of Glinda by Ariana Grande at first. Kristen Chenoweth is so iconic in the musical that it was really hard for me to imagine anyone else in the role or anyone else singing popular for that matter. But Ariana Grande steals the show. This very vapid, self-centered, but also sweet, fun character portrayal is worth an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor, in my opinion. She brings a level of quirkiness that's over the top, but believable. Even when she does this ridiculous hair flip, it's so funny, and I really enjoyed her performance. The dedication to this role was very, very apparent. Wicked had so many fun Easter eggs, and when two actresses show up in the Emerald City scene, the audience lost their minds. That's another thing that I loved about this movie. There was so many scenes where the audience was just so excited and completely engaged. People clapping, singing, the gasps and sighs. It's been a while since I've seen an audience so excited or engaged in a film. The director, John M. Chu, really steps up his game here. Again, no pun intended, Step Up 3. He's also known for Crazy Rich Asians, which was a fantastic film, and for some reason, G.I. Joe Retaliation. What was that about? He does an amazing job with this film, though, and I'd expect a possible Best Director Oscar nod, maybe. I don't know if he's actually going to win it, but I think he might be nominated. And then you got Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Yeoh. They're pretty much Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Yeoh. The acting for these two in this movie are not as complex as other great roles they've both played in the past years. But Jeff Goldblum, he was fun to watch and see as the Wizard just because it's just Jeff Goldblum's personality. Maybe there's more to both of them in, the part two, but I think Michelle Yeoh's performance, I feel like it was a little wasted. And that brings me back to the part one issue. Again, I was really disappointed when I found this out in the beginning, but by the end and how it ended, I felt pretty satisfied, but still wanting more. I mean, the movie is almost 3 hours long, so it's probably best that it stops after the Defying gravity number. It was, to me, a pretty spectacular ending to this movie. I personally don't think the movie needed to be 3 hours long. That seems a little excessive, considering the Broadway musical is about the same runtime as the part one of this film. And they had a 15-minute intermission. We essentially have a 1-year intermission, considering that part two comes out next November. Both films were actually shot together, and I wish they would have released both at the same time at least, or, one in November, one in December. You could go see one and then maybe see the next one a month later. I don't know. I hate these part one, part two type movies. I hated it with Dune. I hated it with Kill Bill. Just stop. Back to the CGI gripe. It could have been better. What CGI is really good these days? Did a lot of the CGI scenes look fake? Of course, but I still thought they were beautiful, especially the exteriors of the Emerald City. And again, yes, fake looking, whatever, but artistically, it was beautiful. Okay, now let me ask a few questions here, and maybe you can give me some answers. One, why is Elphaba green? I think that I might know why, but I'm not exactly sure. So let me know, please, in the comments below. 2, why did Glinda give Elphaba the cape at the end? There wasn't really any explanation. Was it just for style? I don't think she needed a cape to fly, right? That's why she had the broom. Did it just look cool? I feel like I missed something there too. And 3, I didn't understand the motive for the wizard and the animals. Why did he go do what he did? Why did he want that to happen? Did I miss that? Sorry for being vague. I just don't want to give anything away to those of you who haven't seen the movie yet. Also, the school that they went to, Shiz University, was it like a Harry Potter Hogwarts kind of thing happening where they also studied law? I didn't really get what they were learning. I don't know. Wicked was a fun time at the movies. I love the acting, the dance and musical numbers, the depth of the story and the meaning of it all. The colors, the practical effects were amazing. Again, the CGI was a little discouraging, but the camera movement and direction of the film is stunning. It'll make you laugh, it'll give you chills, it'll pull at your heartstrings, maybe make you cry a little bit. And I think it'll keep you satisfied until part 2 coming this year. For all this and more, I'm giving Wicked a 4 out of 5 stars. It ran a little long for me, and again, I wanted a complete movie, but I'm really nitpicking here. And I really enjoyed it. It's a beautiful movie, and even if you aren't a fan of musicals, I think that you'll still enjoy this movie. I actually want to go see it again. So what did you think of this adaptation of the Broadway hit? What's your take? What was your favorite musical number? Were you as shocked as I was by it being a parter? Part 1, part 2? Again, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all the latest movie reviews, and of course, don't wait till it streams. Let's go to the theater and let's see it together.
Let's go! Wicked.